Chapter 4. I wake up to sunlight stabbing through grimy windows and the worst headache of my life. The weight of the fallen bookshelf pins me down like a coffin lid, and I'm pretty sure I've got splinters in places splinters have no business being. Alex materializes like a ghost himself, helping to lift the massive shelving unit off me. His touch sends that same electric current through my skin as he pulls me to my feet.
What happened?
He asks, those green eyes full of concern. I'm not entirely sure, but... I pause, hardly believing what I'm about to say. I think we might have actual paranormal activity here. Despite the pounding in my head, I stumble toward my equipment. Alex tries to slow me down, but I'm too wired now. The gear that was dead last night suddenly works perfectly. Typical. There was this book, I explain, frantically pulling up footage. It flew right at me. The headline said, "Run away," like it was trying to warn me or something.
My.
Alex's lips curl into that dangerous smile.
What happened to the skeptic I met yesterday?
I know. I run a hand through my hair, wincing at the dried blood. I sound like one of those ghost-hunting YouTubers, but...
You believe?
He finishes, eyes twinkling. Let's not go crazy here, I mutter, but can't help smiling. Though I'll admit, there's something about this place. I take a breath, feeling oddly vulnerable. I stopped believing a long time ago, convinced myself it was for the best. But it left this... hole, you know?
Blackwood has a way of making one question their existence.
Looks like I'm in for another night here, I sigh, already dreading it.
I'll stay with you. 2 heads are better than 1.
Relief floods through me, followed quickly by concern. Don't you have work? Family that'll worry?
I have servants, but no true family.
Something flickers in his eyes.
Though I hope to build one soon.
My heart sinks a little. Here I am, falling for someone who's probably straight. That's nice, I manage, trying to hide my disappointment. The word servants catches in my mind, but my head's still too fuzzy to process it properly. Alex steps closer, and that intoxicating scent of his makes the room spin. Or maybe that's just the concussion talking.
You misunderstand, Jake. I'm not looking for a wife.
His fingers brush my cheek, right where a splinter had left its mark, and that familiar electricity crackles between us.
I'm looking for a partner. Someone who understands the darkness. Someone who's touched it and survived.
The way he says, survived, makes my skin prickle. I should step back, should maintain professional distance, but I'm tired of running from what I feel, both about him and about this place. Alex, I start, but he presses a finger to my lips.
Shh, we have time. Tonight we'll explore Blackwood's secrets together.
His smile turns predatory.
And perhaps a few of our own.
Alex helps me gather my scattered equipment, and we set it back up in the library. As we explore the house together, I can't ignore the heat between us whenever we brush past each other in narrow hallways. The flirting is subtle but constant, like a low-grade fever I can't shake. Despite my disappointment at finding nothing concrete, no flying books, no temperature drops, no equipment failures, I find myself more interested in watching Alex than watching my monitors. The guy's knowledge of this place is uncanny, though. Maybe a little too uncanny. As we climb the main staircase, he trails his fingers along the banister like he's greeting an old friend.
The lady of the house fell right here in 1890.
He says, his voice soft but carrying in the dusty air.
Though fell might be too gentle a word. Rumours say her husband pushed her. The poor bastard had been forced into the marriage, you see.
I arch an eyebrow. Let me guess. You can still hear her screams on quiet nights.
Only if you're listening carefully enough.
His smile doesn't quite reach those burning green eyes. You weren't kidding about being fascinated with this place, I say, trying to ignore the way my skin prickles when he looks at me like that.
Oh, I've always felt connected to Blackwood,
he replies, and something in his tone makes the hair on the back of my neck stand up. Christ, I need to focus on the job, not on how I'd like to run my fingers through that long, blood-red hair. Night settles in as Alex and I make camp in the library. My stomach growls, reminding me neither of us has eaten all day. I dig through my food bag, pulling out some jerky and juice. "Want some?" I offer, already tearing into the tough meat. Alex shakes his head.
"I had breakfast. That usually carries me through."
"That can't be healthy," I say between bites.
"It's unhealthier to eat when you're not hungry."
He replies with that cryptic smile of his. Can't argue with that logic. I find myself studying him, the way his clothes hang on his frame. It hits me suddenly. His outfit looks straight out of the 1800s, from the crisp white tunic shirt to those period-accurate dress shoes. Could be one of those vintage fashion enthusiasts, I suppose. God knows I've met stranger types in this line of work.
"Something wrong?"
Alex catches me staring. "No, nothing," I mutter, looking away. The night drags on without incident, until whispers start echoing through the stacks. Before I can process what's happening, books are flying off the remaining shelves. But they're all aimed at Alex. I rush toward him just as a massive volume hurtles through the air. The next thing I know, Alex slams into me, knocking me to the floor. The assault stops as suddenly as it began, but Alex is still on top of me, his body pressed against mine. His cologne fills my nostrils, that ancient, spicy scent that makes my head swim. I should push him off, but I don't. And he's not moving either. Our lips meet in a fervent kiss, teeth clashing, breaths mingling. The scent of old paper and Alex's cologne floods my senses, intoxicating and dark. I can't think, can't breathe, can't do anything but feel as his hands grip my shoulders, pushing me down onto the cold library floor. My equipment lays forgotten, a mess of wires and blinking lights, as we lose ourselves in each other's arms.
I would like to give a special thanks to both patrons and Lunar listeners. Thank you so much for your support. It's all going directly into creating more audio content for your listening pleasure. Lunar listeners receive early access to all audio chapters on YouTube. Patreon members receive early access to uncensored audio chapters, along with full audio shorts too hot for Amazon and YouTube.